And joining me now, the man whose dream of open governments led him to start WikiLeaks, once a hacker in his youth, then voted Time magazine's Person of the Year in 2010 by readers for his mission to bring complete transparency to how governments function. Julian Assange joining me tonight from London. Mr. Assange, the first question to you, it's been a year since that banking blockade, which you linked to the publication of US diplomatic cables by WikiLeaks. Why have you been driven to the stage now where you've announced the suspension of operations?
Well, according to a 24-country poll of 18,000 people, WikiLeaks has the support of over 75% of the world's population. Right. And in fact, one of our strongest supporters is the Indian population. Mm-hmm. But despite that, these US-based financial services companies, Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, Bank of America and Western Union, have continued since December last year to conduct an extrajudicial blockade, entirely outside of any administrative or judicial process. In fact, there has been only one formal US government inquiry into the issue, and that was by the US Treasury, and the US Treasury found in January this year that we should not be added to any kind of US government financial blacklist. But this blockade by these corrupt financial institutions continues.
Right, and of course, in India, you made that point that the huge support you got here, especially after the cash for vote scandal, that whole cable which talked about a trunk being found in some aide to a Congress politician's house. We've seen the revelations of Mayawati, and the more interesting ones, the ones which NDTV had also associated with the the US-Pakistani diplomatic cables, which raised key points on contradictions. Now, you said earlier about the whole attempt to target WikiLeaks. You yourself, of course, are currently under virtual house arrest until a court decision in Great Britain on your extradition to Sweden on alleged rape charges. You said those charges are politically motivated. Now you've had to suspend WikiLeaks operations. If WikiLeaks does shut down permanently, will this mean the establishment that you fought against has won?
Well, it is a possibility that the establishment will win. Certainly, it has been difficult for us over the last 11 months to have been removed from 95% of our donations and revenue. We have been surviving on cash reserves the last 11 months. But that's not a situation that continues. Right. It can continue. If it does continue, then it is inevitable that sometime during next year, WikiLeaks will completely run out of money, and that will be the end of the organization. So we have decided to take this moment to fight back, to put everything we've got, and to call on the world's population to help us fight back, to try and attack this blockade, work out ways to get around this blockade, and politically demand that this blockade be removed, to investigate these organizations. The European Commission has already launched an investigation of Visa and MasterCard, and to push past it. If WikiLeaks is not successful in defeating the blockade, then yes, the forces of darkness, so to speak, will have won the elimination of WikiLeaks. They will not have won the battle. The big battle was to get this information out for the past 12 months. We have been almost completely victorious in that big battle. But will that battle cost the institution itself? That's a possibility, unless we all successfully put everything we've got into knocking down this blockade. Now we have put up some new mechanisms you can send SMS donations in some countries, or international bank transfers through some banks, not through the Bank of America. And we are in the process of setting up a local Indian bank account, so our strong Indian support can be represented, and doing the same in similar countries. And we're also looking for ideas from other people about how do you get around this problem. Personally, what we would like to see is that Visa and MasterCard and the Bank of America are simply banned for engaging in this sort of activity. They should be banned from India. The Icelandic Parliament is looking in to banning them, and the European Commission, as I said before, is looking into whether it starts a prosecution against them.
NDTV's Cricket app. Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.